It's every bride's biggest dilemma. Where do I get my wedding dress from? And if you're on a budget, you might think it's even harder to find the dress for you. Well, with bridal boutiques holding annual sample sales, online retailers offering incredible discounts, and charity shops like Oxfam selling second-hand designer dresses, you have more options than you've probably ever considered. Coming up on today's show.
I'm a bit worried about it the dress not being my size.
I don't like the way it's to one side at the back.
No.
Emily, what do you think?
I don't like it.
I'm Lucy Elliott, founder of thechiefbridesmaid.co.uk and an expert in budget weddings. Did you know that the average wedding these days costs a whopping £21,000? That to me seems like an awful lot of money, and so in this brand new series I'm going to show you how to do it on a lot less. Welcome to 3 Grand Weddings. Previously, 3 couples from Surrey, London and Oxfordshire handed over the planning of their wedding to their friends and family. Having found a venue, the teams put their attention towards the catering. The Surrey team, who are planning the wedding for new parents Katie and Jeff, only had to choose the menu they wanted, as the venue they've hired provides all the catering. I was impressed with their forward thinking and awarded the team 23.5 points out of 30. Making up the Surrey team today is wedding planner Emily Ianu from Ianu Wedding and Events, Katie's mum Jill and her sister Carol, Jeff's mum Anita, Jeff's best friend Roger, Katie's friend Michaela, and Katie's sister Emily, who's flown over from America especially to help. And although Katie has no say in the matter, how is she feeling about someone else choosing her dress?
I have gone through the sort of dress I like loads with my mum, but every time she points out something like in a magazine when we're looking and says, oh, I like that, it's really the opposite of what I would like.
Welcome back, Katie and Jeff's wedding team.
Hi.
How are you feeling today?
Very well.
Ready to go!
Good! Ready to find a dress and save some money. Now, this week is the wedding dress week. Obviously, it's one of the most fun weeks that we're going to be doing, but it's also a really difficult decision because it's one of the most emotional weeks. If Katie doesn't like that dress, she might not be a happy bride on the day, so it's so important that we get this right. Do you guys have an idea of what the sort of dreams Katie's harboured since childhood as to what sort of dress she wants?
She likes a fairy tale situation, but she also likes to look sleek and slim, as all women do.
So we're thinking something quite romantic, something quite sort of Cinderella?
Sort of, but yeah.
We can't be too fussy though, I don't think, do you? Because she's
No,
quite,
not too fussy,
she's
she's quite
small,
black,
so
she's not
something quite classic, I think, and not too frilly or too much, because she's only little.
She's always talked about how she wants quite a traditional wedding, so we are thinking a traditional white wedding dress, aren't we?
I think more of an ivory. She is pale, very pale blonde, and she thinks white might make her pale totally into...
I think you're right there. Ivory is more flattering, isn't it?
Definitely.
Emily, do you know if she wants to go for something strapless?
Yeah,
or
she wants the strapless, kind of fitted at the body, but like A-line in the bottom.
So, Emily, what have you lined up for us today?
Well, firstly, we're going to go to a shop in Ashtead, and they've got hundreds of beautiful wedding dresses, ranging from £100 up to £2,000.
Okay.
Out of our budget.
Yeah, where are we going on to after that?
We're going to Oxfam Bridal
Okay.
after, to see what they've got there.
They have loads of new designer dresses that have been worn in magazine shoots or down the catwalk or sent out as samples. So they're often almost brand new. You know, they've been worn once by a model and not actually worn by a bride for a whole day.
Yeah.
Then they give them to Oxfam, you get 70% off.
Yeah.
Right, are you ready to get shopping?
We are.
Let's go! Sounds like the Surrey team are ready. I hope our London team are just as up for the challenge. Last week, Au Pair Me, along with the help of top wedding planner Becky Gregory from Temple Gregory, found a fantastic Nigerian caterer who is willing to provide the food for as little as £4 a head. What a bargain! With such a great find, it's no wonder I awarded them 24.5 points out of 30. But is Chickadilly confident her team will pick her the right dress?
I'm a bit worried about it not being the dress not being my size, either being too small or being too big.
Right, ladies, today we are wedding dress shopping. Now, I'm guessing this is probably one of the things you're more nervous about choosing for Chickadilly.
Yes, because every bride's wedding dress is really important. So if we get it wrong, she's going to be very unhappy.
But she has given us a bit of guidance on what sort of dress she wants, hasn't she?
She has. She wants an empire cut
Right.
dress, which is quite flexible in the grand scheme of things. We've just got to keep to a certain style.
Do you think she'd look better in something a bit more structured?
I think so, maybe something a bit more flowing with a bigger skirt, but I think that's the point of today, that we can go to a shop, have a look at the different styles and see what best suits.
So first of all, you've booked an appointment for us with a wedding dress shop,
Yes.
haven't you?
Yes.
And that to me seems a bit beyond our price league.
Yeah, so the whole point of that, I think, is to get an idea of the styles. It's okay looking at something online or a bride saying, I want this, I want an empire style, but you've really got to see it in person before you can make that kind of decision. I think it's just impossible otherwise.
So hopefully the lady there will try you on in various different shaped dresses so we can see which silhouette, as they call them, suits you the most.
Realistically, we're not going to be able to get a dress from one of these lovely bridal shops, but our best option is to look online.
Right.
There are so many cheap options. We have Freeman's catalogue, there's also Littlewoods.
And they do wedding dresses?
Yes, yeah, they have a good range of wedding dresses. They have some empire line dresses, which we know Chickadilly likes. There's also eBay, and also we have the dress from Chickadilly's cousin, who very kindly has offered to lend her empire line dress to us for the day.
Which would be good because we don't have to pay for it.
Exactly, that would be free.
But it means she won't be able to keep her dress after the day, which
so that
she might not like.
That would be a compromise, but I think on our budget it would be a compromise that I would be willing to make.
I also know that there are a couple of second-hand wedding dress websites that we can have a look at.
Okay.
So brides who've got married and now they're selling off the dress from their day. So are you ready to get modelling?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Our last couple are Oxfordshire-based Martine and Jay. Last time, their team managed to find a caterer who was committed to local produce and competitive prices, and who specialised in hog roasts, exactly what Martine and Jay wanted. I thought they'd unearthed a great find with their caterer and awarded them 26 points out of 30. This week, their team of Martine's sister Debbie, Martine's aunt Linda, and expert wedding planner Sandy Moretta from Turn Events have got the daunting task of finding a wedding dress for Martine.
I just want to feel special. It's my special day. That doesn't mean that I have to have the most expensive dress ever. I just want, to feel confident in it and feel nice.
Martine and Jay's wedding team, welcome back. So the pressure is on. How are you feeling?
Bit worried, but not really daunted.
Well, the help is at hand because, Sandy, you've brought along one of your associates today, haven't you?
I certainly have. This is Fiona McClurg-Welland of Style to You, and Fiona is in fact an award-winning image consultant. So I've brought Fiona along really because she is qualified to tell us what sort of shape is going to flatter Martine's figure the best.
Yeah.
What sort of shades, if we're going the traditional bridal route, should we be looking at white, should we be looking at cream, ivory, exactly what sort of shades?
It's got to be glamorous, it's got to be wedding-like, because Martine's got to be the centre of the day, hasn't she? I think she's looking at something maybe prom dressy, down that route.
I've also brought along a selection of accessories that we can look at.
Oh, great.
And I think it's going to be very important to make a decision fairly quickly because lead times on dresses can be really quite lengthy. And obviously we have the date for the wedding now and we need to get a move on.
Debs, have you got any ideas in your head of what Martine would look fabulous in?
Yes, I have. I've got lots of ideas. She's talked about wanting some jewels on it, some sequins, some decorative things.
Yeah.
And she's also talked about the way that she'd like her waist to come in and how she'd like that
Okay,
to
so
be.
quite a nice
to
hourglass
show off her figure. It's a big responsibility on our shoulders today. Really.
So we now know where our couples are getting married and what they're going to be eating. But now for what many consider to be the most important aspect, the dress. Your wedding dress might be something you've been dreaming about since childhood, but that's not to say you can't save money on it. Here are some of my top tips. It's always worth checking out the sample sales in wedding dress shops. Nearly all bridal shops, whatever the price range, have sample sales once or twice a year, so it's worth keeping an eye out for them. Bridesmaid dresses can look every bit as show-stopping as wedding dresses and yet are cheap in comparison. Why not wear a favourite bridesmaid's dress in white? This is a particularly good money-saving tip if you're having a more relaxed or beach wedding. A dress is such an important decision, and this is one our teams just have to get right. Fingers crossed they do. Coming up, our teams begin the hunt for the perfect wedding dress. Were we to go with a dress from this shop, you're willing to take your daughter's advice on it? She's still abstaining.
Still not sure.
We begin the hunt in Surrey at a local bridal shop that is having an annual sample sale. A great way to find designer dresses at fantastic prices.
Right, to come through?
Great.
I understand you're looking for a sale dress?
Yes.
This is our selection of sale dresses here. I'd like to have a look through. If there's any there you'd like to be tried on, we can arrange that for you from the centrepiece through to the end of all of our sale dresses.
Right.
Basically they're being discontinued by the designers, and most of them are up to about 75% off of the dresses.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Any dress can be taken down at least 2 dress sizes, but obviously you need to be fitted to the bride just to make sure it's going to fit her perfectly.
There is a lovely selection of dresses here, so it's worth taking some time and trying on as many as they like. And they have the perfect model in Emily, who's exactly Katie's size.
Superb.
Oh, that is lovely.
Emily, you look so happy in it.
The only thing is, I do know that this bit here, it's like, she won't like that.
Would you like to see the other dress alongside this one?
Yeah, that would be
Emily, darling, if you'd like to step forward for me.
I know, right?
Oh, that.
Oh, well, that one's a bit more fitted, isn't it?
Yeah. I prefer this one here.
Yes. I mean, I love that one, but Kate would not like it because it's too fitted, and she has this misconception that she has big hips and she hasn't.
Picking the right wedding dress is such an important decision that it's worth seeing as many as you can. So come on, let's see that third dress.
There you go.
Oh, sorry.
It's like you've got competing wedding dresses on now, because yours is quite big and yours is even bigger. Is it corseted? So does it naturally bring you in anyway?
No, it's all internal corset inside. There's bows inside.
There is more detail on that one, especially down the back of it.
I don't know, I'm sort of torn at the moment.
I don't know now.
Now this one that I had on before.
Yeah. I think you suit this one more and you suit that one more.
My favourite's
They're
that
both
one.
lovely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say.
What?
My favourite's that.
Yeah, my favourite's that one too. It's
It
nice
does
and
have more
structured.
structure in this one than this one does.
But I really
like
do.
this one.
I really, really like that one.
Yeah, I like this one.
Okay, so Anita thinks the dress on the left, but the potential issue there is it is quite modern and Katie's after something very traditional.
I don't know, because Mum keeps going on about the netting.
Is there much price difference between these two
They're
dresses?
more or less the same sort of price.
Okay.
So both end of line, both reduced by 75% these dresses.
Were we to go with a dress from this shop, you're willing to take your daughter's advice on it and go with the more traditional dress? She's still abstaining.
Still not sure, no.
Well, we don't need to make a decision yet. Let's go away and have a chat about it. They're all lovely in my opinion, but I think the Surrey team have narrowed it down to just these two. Could one of these be Katie's dream dress? So while the Surrey team think things over, it's over to another bridal boutique, this time in London. So Rebecca, you brought us to By Storm in central London.
Yes.
Why have you brought us here?
I just think it's important for us to have a look at all the different styles. I think we know that Chickadilly is quite set on having an empire line dress, but I think it's a good idea to have a look at all the different styles, try a few on and just see what would suit you, because we know that you're a similar kind of size.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good idea.
Because the silhouettes do vary quite massively between dresses, don't they?
And all brides, I think, well, most brides will go to a bridal shop and say, I know I want this type of dress, but they'll try on something else and they'll absolutely fall in love with it. So at least we'll be able to get an idea of what's flattering and what's not.
Because you may try on an empire line dress and it just doesn't suit you, and an A-line may look fabulous. Cool.
Okay.
Brilliant. Well, let's get shopping, ladies.
Yes.
Oh,
this is the entire line, which is lovely, isn't it?
What do you think?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the arm things.
I actually think they're interesting.
You don't have to have it with the arm things.
No, they're optional. But the nice thing about it, you've got a good bust line there, lots of detail high up, and the skirt is very floaty.
I think it is a flattering shape anyway, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she will have something for her shoulders as well. Yeah.
So then you wouldn't need the sleeves, would you?
No.
If she was going to have a little wrap around her.
Chickadilly's keen to have a flower in her hair or something like that. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, what about one of these? A feather headdress. Now, if it was just going to go at the back, it would sit
on top of a bun, that would be perfect, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Pemmy, you look so relaxed in that dress.
Well, I am going to try. So should we try on the next one?
Yes, let's do that. Right, here we are.
Wow.
Here's the second.
Totally different look altogether, isn't it? But isn't that a beautiful skirt?
I love the bodice.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Well, the other shape's probably more flattering on you.
I think so, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, that's a real fairy tale wedding dress, isn't it?
So I love the skirt and all the sparkliness going on. But I think the other one is definitely more a flattering shape. We can probably rule that style out, I think.
This is the last one.
Wow. So again, this is an Empire line dress.
Line, yes, with the same floating panels in the front as the other one.
But it's without the sort of added detail of the sleeves.
As you know, I wasn't convinced on the whole Empire line dress for Chickadilly, but now having seen the different styles, I think that we're all agreed, aren't we, that it's definitely the best option, which is why it's so important to come here today.
So London have got the style that they're after. Now it's off to find the perfect dress. Meanwhile, in Oxfordshire, the hunt is just beginning, and they've got a great idea to save money. Rather than looking at traditional wedding dresses, they're looking at prom dresses. They still look great and are a fraction of the cost. But will they find anything Martine will actually want? What do you think of this one, ladies?
I like the
beautiful,
colour.
yeah.
It's not a traditional wedding dress,
No,
is
it
it?
isn't. No, but then it's not a traditional wedding, is it?
No, that's true.
And one of the things that we've been talking about, haven't we, Debbie, over the last week or so, is that Sue is very keen to involve Martine's horse in her arrival.
Right.
And I'm very conscious that to ride side saddle, the skirt has to be really
Yeah, it has
quite
to be
full.
I don't think she'd ever want to have the full meringue.
Right.
No, she's not
The
that sort of
full
a
meringue.
bride. No, no, most definitely not. But I think perhaps we need to see her in a mixed it.
Yes, we do really. We need to look for style then and what we like the look of, and
So
forget about the price tag.
Yeah. So why don't we?
To a degree, I think.
Why don't we pull out sort of shapes we think might suit Martine,
Yeah.
and then maybe if the price isn't workable, we can find a way of circumventing that.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have a look around.
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it?
The girls are unleashed on the shop. There is such a fantastic selection here. But will they be able to find anything they love? It's got both gold and silver in it, and she wanted something that went with her rings.
She did.
I love this one. It's beautiful.
This one I quite liked.
In terms of the blues, the difference between the warm and the cool blue, obviously what I've got on is a cool light blue, but this is the warm blue. So this would be the blue if it's anything.
Can't wait to put some on.
I know. Coming up after the break, the hunt continues, and it's crunch time when our teams make the tough decision of choosing their brides a wedding dress. Before the break, our couples were on the hunt for the perfect wedding dress. The Surrey team began in a local bridal boutique, and two dresses in particular caught their eye. In Oxfordshire, our team were thinking outside of the box by looking for cheaper prom dresses. And the London team spent their time finding the perfect style of dress they wanted. Now, back at home, they're surfing the web looking for a bargain. So ladies, having seen you model those dresses, there was one shape that really stood out.
Yes,
and that was the Empire line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So now it's about finding Empire line dresses
within our budget.
So first of all is this Grecian dress from the Freeman's catalogue.
Okay.
It's £107.66 with free delivery.
Yes.
I mean, that is so cheap compared to most wedding dresses you see around, isn't it?
It is.
It's about 1% of the cost of a standard wedding dress.
Now, Rebecca has done an amazing job in finding the ultimate credit crunch wedding dress.
So thank you, Rebecca.
Which is an amazing £24.50.
I don't think you can get any cheaper than that. Apart from free.
It's again very relaxed.
Yeah, I think it's too relaxed.
Right.
We're not having a beach wedding.
Yeah, perhaps not for Chickadilly.
Now, next up, Amanda Wakely is a really well-known wedding dress designer. She does normal clothes as well, and she has done a range for Littlewoods.
Okay.
So this is one of her wedding dress suggestions for the Littlewoods catalogue, and it's £99.
Whoa.
It's BHS Bridal. They've got 30% off at the moment, so hopefully everything should be affordable. Last year they got Princess Diana's wedding dress designer to do a range for them.
Oh.
So the bodice is from £14. I think it's nice, but I don't think that's the shape that we're looking for, really.
So Monsoon also have lots of Empire line dresses.
That's nice, but for the price difference, we've got £100 Freeman's dress, and this is double that, so
doesn't really grab you though.
It's not worth double, I don't think, is it?
Don't think so.
Chickadilly did mention that her cousin?
Her cousin, yeah, who got married recently, and also wore an Empire line dress, is happy to lend it to Chickadilly for the day, and obviously that would be free. So within our £3,000 budget, that's excellent. You know, that would free up £100, whatever we would have paid.
This is her cousin wearing the wedding dress on the day. It's Empire line, so we know it will suit her.
Yeah.
It's not out there, and
I think that would really suit Chickadilly though, from what we're learning about her and what the team and friends have told us. I think that simple and relaxed is quite
what she's going for.
So, a great possible option. Fingers crossed that Chickadilly's cousin lets us borrow the dress. It would really help that £3,000 budget. So while Opemi gets on the phone, we'll turn our attention back to Oxfordshire. It's such an important decision, they want to make absolutely sure that the dress they choose is the right one. So they've asked Martine to come and model for them. But remember, this is supposed to be a surprise, so this isn't going to be your usual dress fitting. Here comes the bride.
Hi, Martine. Now, Martine, this is going to be a very important part of the next half hour or so. We're going to go upstairs and you're going to try on a few things that your wedding team here think might fit the bill for the day. Some of the dresses are affordable. Some of them are not, but we're looking more at shape. So just try them on and don't look, and we'll all talk about them. So should we go upstairs?
Discreetly.
Well, let's go up then.
Should this go on before we go upstairs?
Oh, you're probably right, Lucy.
Okay then.
I'm not having any rule breakers here. The first dress Martine is trying on is the one that her mum, Sue, particularly likes. But will our team today like it as much? The shade. Yeah, it looks
really like that. Yeah. Love all the lines, the ruching, that kind of thing. I like the shade of it as well.
I have to say I wasn't too sure about the shape on the hanger because I thought that Martine's got such a beautiful figure.
Yeah,
you might want something that exhibits it a bit more, but it does. But actually, she looks so fabulous.
Yeah.
I think it's time to have a look at dress number 2.
Ooh. Yeah.
There you go. I'll turn round onto it. Turn round.
So just like the size of the stick.
I don't think the colour is doing as much.
No.
As the other one.
What do you think about the shape? It's fitted to here and then goes out. But you think it's something that goes out from here rather than...
But it does still accentuate the waist and still does give that hourglass effect. So as long as it's doing the right thing on the torso...
I do like the shape.
As long as it's doing the thing on the torso, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it's
one
side at the back.
No.
Oh, I see what you mean. Where so that's not central.
I don't like that.
You don't like that. You think it might look as though it was meant to be, or
almost look like
it's skew whip. It's skew whip. It's not come on properly.
Yeah. So next up, we've got the original blue dress, but in the white.
Yes. Right, okay.
Okay. Forward. Step. Step.
It's nice. The detail on the back doesn't stand out as much as
No.
It's because of the colour it's on.
Yeah.
That's it.
We don't actually have to come to a decision today because Martine's mum's not with us, so
Of course.
perhaps it's a matter of putting together a recommendation and then putting that forward to the rest of the wedding team. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Yes, yeah.
So while the Oxfordshire team are left to deliberate on what dresses to put forward for Martine's mum, over in Surrey, wedding planner Emily Ioannou has taken the team to a fantastic place to look for a dress on a budget, the local Oxfam. There are a number of Oxfam shops up and down the country that have specialised wedding sections, and the one here in Leatherhead has a great selection of designer dresses at low prices. Will our team find the dress of their dreams here? This is a proper London designer dress. It would normally cost £2,000 plus, and they're selling it for just £450. You know, it's a really well-known top designer. It looks completely brand new. It's probably been worn on the catwalk, and you're getting it 75% off.
Alright. Tripping on it.
Okay.
Tripping on it.
So this has got a little bit of the netting that I know, Jill, you weren't too keen on. But does the rest of the dress make up for it?
I don't know yet.
It's not as heavy as it looks, this one, actually. There's a lot of fabric, but it's not a heavy dress.
Michaela?
I don't know, I'm not really too sure. I don't think Kate would like the straps.
Emily, what do you think? Because I know this was your favourite when you saw it on the hanger.
Yeah, it's a lot different when it's on. I don't like it as much.
Right, then on to the next one.
Face a mirror. This is one of our isn't it? We're biased, so.
I'm not over keen.
Can you put on the next one, please?
Nice mix.
I don't like this. I don't got the netting bit at the back.
Emily, what do you think?
I don't like it. No, I don't like the two-piece.
That was a definite.
No.
Okay, well, it's interesting to try it on.
Yeah.
I like the train, but it's good to have somewhere to put it if you're going to dance.
And if she doesn't like the overly decorative train, then you can pin it up for the whole thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it down at all. Well, I can see you've all got a lot to think about, so I think we should head back to Michaela's and have a chat about it. So the Surrey team have got a lot to think about. Back in London, Opemi is on the phone to Chickadilly's cousin. Let's hope she'll let the team borrow the dress.
Hello, it's Opemi. How are you? Thanks for sending the photo of the dress. It's a really nice dress. It looks really, really nice. And we just wanted to ask some questions about it just to be sure. Are you and Chickadilly about the same size? Okay, good. Because we're worried that maybe the dress would be too short or too long. Would you mind if we had to alter it a bit? Great. All right, wonderful. And sorry for putting you on the spot. Talk to you later. Bye. She might have to slim down into the dress.
Did she say it was a size 12?
The dress is a size 12.
Okay. Well, that's Chickadilly's aim for the wedding.
Yeah.
So she's only got to drop one dress size.
Yes.
Do you think she can do it?
Anything's possible.
She's going to have to.
Yeah, she's going to have to.
What did she say about alterations?
Her reaction was not too much. She did hesitate. If it just happens to be too long, then she might just have to wear high heels.
So we're going to go with the cousin's dress. Brilliant. Decision made.
Good.
That's one dress down, 2 to go. Over in Surrey, the team are back home, and it's the all-important decision time. So, team, it's been a really busy day, but I do feel like we've been quite productive. We've been to 2 shops, tried on a whole range of different dresses, so I think we've got a lot to talk about. You saw the modern dress, which you singled out, and the very traditional dress, and I think in the end everyone agreed that the traditional dress was more Katie's scene.
It was 600 with a 75% discount, so that would make it 150.
Now, if we go on to the other dresses we saw in Oxfam, there was one, Jill, that you asked to see twice. How much was that dress?
325.
I know the issue is getting Katie a really beautiful dress, but also you want to get her a fabulous honeymoon, and the more money you save, the more fabulous her honeymoon is going to be, because she's more likely to win the competition.
I think she'll like that dress.
Well done, team. I think you've made a really good decision. It's a beautiful dress and it's really sensibly priced. I'm looking forward to coming back next week and seeing how you're getting along with putting together the rest of the outfit and the bridesmaids' dresses.
Really tough decision to make, but I think they've made the right choice. I wonder if our final team will have a tough time choosing.
So, Sue, obviously, unfortunately, you were unable to make it to come and see the wedding
That's
dresses
right, yes.
with Martine in them. So we did look at a variety on the day. Deb, so you're going to talk Sue through the dresses?
Yes. As you were aware, we were looking at prom dresses and things as well, not just wedding dresses, due to the cost. And we saw this one in the shop. That one was one of our options that we thought you might like. We also had a blue dress that I think you may have heard about, with the pretty V-neck and the strapping at the back. Really suits her shape, and Fiona agreed with that, didn't
Oh, very
she?
much so, yes, with the lovely waist.
And then, of course, what a find. We found it in white, at the price of the prom dress. So.
What are your feelings with regard to the three that you've seen then?
Well, I'd previously seen on the website the blue dress and really liked it. I'm not so keen on the champagne dress. As soon as I saw the photograph, I didn't like the back, the way it sort of led into each other.
Your sister had the same
Did
reaction.
she? Yes.
Yeah, we
Yes.
didn't like it
Very
at
much
all.
the same
We didn't like the way it's shaped in at the back.
Yes.
The front was beautiful, but the back was a bit of a letdown.
Yes. The white dress I thought was absolutely lovely.
Oh,
yes.
good.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And are you happy with that dress
Happy
decision?
with that, yeah. I
Wonderful.
can see Martine coming down the aisle looking absolutely beautiful, like a bride, and being a bride on her wedding day, which hopefully will be the only time she ever does it.
You've got a wedding dress for the price of a prom dress.
Oh, yes.
Which is a
Yes.
fraction of the cost of what a typical wedding dress costs.
Yes.
So you've done a really good job there.
And from what people said, it actually looked really, really like a wedding dress anyway.
Well, particularly once she had a veil on.
Yeah.
There were a few gasps, I think, around the
Yeah, there was.
A few
around the
wet
room.
eyes.
Yes.
So that's one of the most important decisions made. Let's just hope Martine's happy with the decision.
So that's it. All three teams have made the decisions. Really well done, teams, because it's not an easy choice to make by any means. After the break, I'll be meeting Fleur Hagan, owner of Fleur Bridal in London, to begin the judging. Before the break, our three teams chose the wedding dresses for their brides. 3 great styles and 3 great prices too. I think our teams really captured the spirit of a budget wedding with their choices this week. Now I'm heading over to Fleur Bridal in London to meet owner Fleur Hagan to mark our team's performance. Fleur is an expert at knowing what looks great to make a perfect wedding. Wedding dresses are her expertise, so I wonder what she'll make of our team's choices this week.
Hi, Fleur.
Hi, Lucy.
How are you doing?
Yeah, really good. Looking forward to this week.
Yeah, because it is a very special week, isn't it? It's
is.
the wedding dress week. Now, it's going to be quite hard to judge this one, I think, because who are we to say what a girl's perfect dress might be?
Absolutely, absolutely. I find that in the shop the whole time, and if they're totally in love with the dress, then it's the right dress for them. As long as they're standing there smiling and really happy,
yeah,
it's personal choice. But I can't wait to see them. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, and I guess we're sort of judging on quite an objective basis this week because it's things about value for money and practicability. So actually, it doesn't necessarily make that much of a difference whether we like the dress or not, I think.
No, I agree.
It's sort of the approach, how they've gone about it, how they've been able to get a good deal. So should we talk through what each team have spent, first of all?
Yes, let's do that.
If we look at the Surrey team, first of all, they got the dress from the traditional wedding dress shop in a sample sale, so it was reduced. And they negotiated a deal whereby if they bought the bridesmaid dresses from there as well, she would give them a discount of the bridesmaid dresses.
Which is brilliant. And how many bridesmaids dresses did they buy?
I think they've got 3 bridesmaids and the wedding dress for £350.
I mean, that's fantastic. That's really, really good.
The London team did really well. They have borrowed Chickadilly's dress from her cousin. We know she loves it. From that respect, it's really practical. The thing that isn't so practical is the cousin seemed a bit iffy on how much we might be able to alter it. Then finally, the Oxford team. Now, the Oxford team are our money-saving stars.
They really are.
So far. So they had a bit more money to play with than the other teams. They, again, thought outside the box, and they went to a prom dress shop to get the wedding dress, they saw this wonderful midnight blue prom dress and then found out it actually came in white. So it looks like a wedding dress, but it's come at a prom dress price.
Great.
I think it's time we looked at actual points. So Katie and Jeff, first of all, in terms of practicability, I think they've done really well. I mean, they can get the dress altered in the shop, and I think that's included within the price they've paid. So practicability, I could give them 9 out of 10.
I have to agree.
For creativity, they've been creative in the respect that they've gone to a sample sale to look for the dress.
For the first week, I wasn't so impressed with what they did, whereas this week they've managed to, you know, show some flair with little bits and pieces, so I think I'd like to reward them for that. So I'm going to give them 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. And money saved. So this team have spent £586. Now that's the second most of the teams we're looking at. However, they do have ushers, which the other teams don't have. So I do think that they've got, you know, a lot for their money. And so on that basis, I'm going to give them 8 out of 10.
Me too. 8 out of 10.
Now the London team have done some amazing money saving this week. They have the dress, which they've spent £0.
That's
on.
fantastic.
The alterations on a practical point might cause a few issues.
They also might cause a few money issues. That's something they might have forgotten, because that can, you know, really become quite expensive.
It could cost a couple of £100.
It can, so unless they've got a family member who's going to be able to do that, that's something they might need to think about.
So for practicability, I'm going to give them 6 out of 10.
I am nervous about the alterations suddenly costing them a lot of money from nowhere, so I'm going to go 6 out of 10 as well.
Then for creativity, and borrowing the dress was something I've never seen before.
No.
So on that basis, I'm going to give them 9 out of 10.
They did do really well, and if you fall in love with the dress that much and you've got someone who's willing to lend it to you, so I think that's a fair score. I think 9 out of 10 is good.
Then on money saved, I'm going to give them 9 out of 10.
I am concerned that she's going to have to spend extra money on having her dress altered if she can't find a family member who's capable and it will look really good on the day. So for that reason, I'm going to give them 8 out of 10.
So should we meet in the middle and call that 8.5?
I think we should.
Finally, we're on to our Oxford team. Now, our Oxford team obviously had a bit more money to play with because they've been so amazing to date. In terms of practicability, they've bought the dress as a prom dress, but it's from a wedding dress shop, and hopefully they'll have the facilities to make adjustments if those are required. I think I'm going to give them 9 out of 10, the same as the Surrey team, as they've essentially gone down that route. Now, they've showed creativity in the fact that a prom dress in white's also a really good idea, and it's a thing that brides often don't think about. So I think that was really good. On that basis, I'm going to give them 8 out of 10.
Me too.
Then we get to money saved. So they have spent the most of any of the brides. I'm going to give them 6 out of 10 for money saved.
I think that's fair because they have spent a little bit more, but they did have the budget to do it because they've been so frugal and so clever before. I think I'm going to give them 7 out of 10.
So if we meet at 6.5...
Yep.
Thank you, Fleur. That was really good fun, and I'll see you next week for entertainment.
Looking forward to it.
So that's it for this week. All that's left to do is look at the scores. In third place with 64.5 points, it's still our Surrey team, but they are beginning to make up ground, and they're improving every week. In a close second, it's the London team with 72 points. And still in first place, but only just, is the team from Oxfordshire with an impressive 76.5 points. Next time, our teams will be all singing, all dancing as they rock out choosing the wedding entertainment. See you then.